uncertainty saved my life. Not like I was going to die, like it just saved me from having a suckier life than I have now. And I say that because in addition to being certain, I used to be a couple other things. One, engaged. Two, Christian. Should have said that one first. I know one of you thought I was going to say one. No, not the case. That's why I keep this guy in here. So the story, or the easy story of how I became a Christian was that I was always friends with people who were older than I was in high school, middle school, and that sort of thing. And then they kept graduating, and I'm like, oh, I got to go find new friends now because they all left. And so by the time my senior year rolled around, I didn't know the people in my class who had all been hanging out for 3-4 years at that point. It was like a backwater town. A lot of it was 4 years. And so I just had to like find this group of friends. And the way I did that was the Christians were the ones who were friendliest. I found out that was because they're like a little coffee. Not their fault, that's how they were raised. And I wasn't raised in the tradition or anything like that. But they were the ones who were like nice to me and cool, and we hung out and all this stuff. And so I wanted to be sort of popular among Christians, so I went like even harder into it and became really fundamentalist. And I read the Bible 2 times. I found out that's not a normal Christian thing to do. And so I went to college. I went to a Christian college, and Dan and I went to the same college. So you can speak to some of the weirdness that just happens there. And not everyone at this college was as fucking as far down the Christian road as I was. I was pretty far down. And so I thought that what was important was that God told you who you were going to marry and be with for your entire life. And so, I had this friend who I was attracted to, and she said, oh, I had this dream that we should get married. I'm like, oh, I'll pretend that I prayed on that and then agree with you. Which is what I did. The fucking cheapest ring that I could buy because I had no money. And we got engaged. And we were engaged for, it must have been like 1.5 years or 2 years or something. Do you remember? I don't remember.
It was significant.
Yeah. It was fucking way longer than it should have been. I credit a lot of sort of my salvation from what would have probably been a really terrible, awful situation and eventually a drawn out divorce or something, to a teacher of mine. And I've been kind of ragging on the Christian thing, but he's a Christian and I fucking respect this guy. And he just sort of said hey, you have to ask questions about things. Maybe this fundamentalist attitude that you have is not really the case. And by the way, here's all the things in the Bible that should make you rethink that. And so I did. And I realized that the plan that my then fiance had for us, which was for us to get ordained and plant churches and be very self-righteous and things, was not at all what I wanted to do. I just had no interest in it. And it took me, I want to say 6 months from realizing that to talking about it. Because what happens when you're sort of a fundamentalist Christian and you think that God has told you something, and then you sort of realize in your God that that's not going to be a healthy thing, and that's not going to be a good thing, is that you feel a tremendous amount of guilt for being honest with yourself. And so it was a very, very long time before I finally was just fed up with that feeling and had to talked to her about it and broke it off. And spent a couple of years just not dating anyone because I didn't want to get close to anyone at all again. But what I did find was that there are lots of people in the world, and some of them are Christians and some of them are not Christians, and some of them have different faiths and no faith and that sort of thing. And I find this out, I think, probably every day. That people will respect the fact that you're honest with them about what is going on with you. And so while I used to be, certain and engaged and a Christian, what I found out, and what I sort of learned and what developed out of that, and I didn't see it coming, I didn't know, was that those things got replaced with uncertainty, yes, but these sort of values of honesty and bravery and boldness. And that those things, those qualities in an individual, for me, are much more valuable. And I, to this day, just prefer that somebody is honest about how they're uncertain. And the fact that each of us sort of get dropped into a life and you get a name and a cultural background assigned to you because you don't have a choice, because that's where you exist in time and space. And you don't know what that's going to be, and you didn't get a choice, and it happens to you. And a lot of our lives happen to us. And when I finally embraced uncertainty and even started to place some value on that, about thinking that uncertainty in a lot of cases was better than certainty, I found that my life became more joyful. And yeah, I'm gonna end there.